Picture this for a moment. In the Bible, when Judas betrayed Jesus, he couldn't stand the guilt and decided to take his life. But what if he didn't die? What if he never did? Hello, my name is Chumbles, and I'm making a horror game based around the exploration of Jesus' tomb. In this game, your job is to take pictures of important artifacts for money. Along the way, you'll inevitably end up running into Judas, who after betraying Jesus, was cursed by God to eternal life, but not eternal youth. He was also turned into a sort of weeping angel, unable to move while in direct eyeline. So join me this Halloween, as I walk you through the development of Ancient 6. So I started by making a new Unity project, and immediately added the most crucial part of the entire game. You know it, you love it, B. To get the player moving around, I basically just stole the player movement from my last game, Spray and Pray, although it did involve a lot of tweaking. For example, removing dashing, sliding, and Chekhov's wall jumping. Yeah, unfortunate as it may seem, I can't be having the player just be able to perform a slam storage and fly away. Then I added things like sprinting, crouching, and counter movement, which stops you from just sliding around because the player is actually completely frictionless. And that is basically all of the movement done. But you know, one small issue. It looks boring! All of the movement feels way too rigid. So let's take this one at a time. For the walking, I added some view bobbing using the Cinemachine basic multi-channel Perlin camera shake. For the jumping, I really like how Cluster Truck smooths out the camera. So I made it so that the camera slightly overshoots downwards when you land. And for the crouching, I just made it smoothly interpolate between the sizes, instead of just snapping. Okay, so, with all of the movement nice and smooth like that, next up is to add a camera. Oh, but Chumbles, I thought the player already had a camera. I mean like this, you know, a physical camera that I can hold and take pictures with. In Unity, you can display a camera's view in the scene by using a render texture, which is useful for games like Iron Lung or Lethal Company. So by adding it to a cube that smoothly follows the player's camera, and by programming some simple zooming and focusing functions, I pretty much have a working camera. But what use is a camera if I can't even take pictures with it? So, I'm going to have it work similarly to a game called It Steals, where one of the modes has the only source of light come from the flash of your camera. And after a little programming, I finally made it so that you can take a photo to light up the area briefly. And then that photo is saved to a gallery, which you can look through to see what you took a picture of. Right, now that the camera's working, I think it's about time to get the enemy AI working too. I'll probably do the model later, so for the time being... I've tried programming my own enemy AI before, but the enemy would always just move in a straight line towards you. So I finally decided to just use a navmesh agent. And I honestly don't know why it took me so long to do this, it's so much easier. The enemy in this game works like a weeping angel, only moving when you can't actively see it. So to create this, every frame I have to check for two conditions. One, is his model in the bounds of your camera? If he isn't, then you can't see him, so he can move. And two, can I draw a straight line between him and the player? If I can't, that means that something's blocking your view of him, so you can't see him, so he can move. But if both of these conditions result in him being confirmed on screen, then his speed is set to 0. But if either of them result in a fail, then he's off screen and he can move again. Now, that is the enemy logic basically done, but he's not very smart right now, because he always knows exactly where you are. I guess, come to think of it, that would make him too smart. He needs to be dumber. So I made it so that if he doesn't know exactly where you are, then he'll try and search for you. But you know, I think I made him a little too dumb this time. Because you see, right now, the moment he reaches his destination and he doesn't know where you are, he'll just pick a random point within a circle and path to that instead. But that ultimately just makes him constantly double back on himself and never actually go anywhere. Seriously, this footage goes on for over 2 minutes. I'm right there, man! So, since this is a Halloween video and all, I'm gonna force you to listen to my scary programming explanation on how I improved the enemy AI. So I started by adding the ability for the enemy to reject the random position if it falls under certain conditions. For example, 1, if the point he picks is within a certain minimum distance, and 2, if the dot product between the last direction and the new one exceeds a certain range, then it generates a new random point. What, you don't know what the dot product is? The dot product can be used to determine the angle difference between two directions from 1 to -1. 1 meaning both directions point exactly the same way, and -1 meaning they point in opposite directions from each other. By rejecting all the cases where the dot product of the direction to the new random point compared to the last one results in a value under 0.5, it limits the angle he can turn to a 60-degree cone, meaning he'll generally walk straighter and follow past better. Still listening? Good, because in addition, I also gave the enemy ears so he can hear certain actions like taking a photo, landing after a jump, and knocking over boxes. It works on a priority level like all these basics, so he'll only go towards a sound if its priority is equal to or greater than the one he's currently following. All of this to say that the new system is an absolute monster at finding me compared to the original. And to top it all off, I even added the ability for the enemy to actually attack me. Haha, loser. This works by dealing 90 damage every 0.3 seconds, so that you just have a tiny amount of time to turn around before you die. Which is actually the same way it works in Lethal Company. But anyway, with all that said and done, the enemy is now fully functional at last. Moving on from the enemy, let me tell you about the artifacts. There's two types, ones that you can photograph and ones that you can collect. For the photographable ones, I made a script that calculates a value based on how many times you've taken a picture of it using a curve. And for the collectible ones, I made it so that hovering over a prop will highlight it, and pressing E will collect it. But it looks just so boring. So I made some particles using Unity's particle system, added some sound effects, and even stole that little text pop-up thing from my last game, and used it to display the value of the item. And now it looks like this. Then I just threw together a few props, dimmed the lights, and created possibly the most satisfying score tally ever made. And that was officially the last thing I had time to add before I had to present it to my class as a working demo. Oh, what's that? Did I forget to mention that this was made for a college assignment? Oh, my mistake. Yeah, I actually only had 2 months to make this. Luckily, this was way more laid back than last time, because I didn't have to make 2 games at the same time, and it actually went really well. People really seemed to like it, and I got a lot of good feedback, as you can see. By the way, for this assignment we also had to make a Pecha Kucha, which is basically a presentation of your game idea, but you only have 20 seconds per slide. We only had 10, but anyway, people seem to like that too. Anyway, now that I have the bulk of the mechanics done, I figured it was about time to properly model a rig for the enemy. I started by just actually using the model of the coil head from Lethal Company, which is also a Weeping Angel, go figure, and sculpting in some vaguely humanoid details. Then I textured him using Blender's texture painting mode, and I rigged him using my skeleton. And there we go. Finally, I made some animations for things like walking, running, and attacking, which for the record was really hard, because I had to consider the fact that he only has one arm, so naturally he'd be weighted towards one side. Then I just baked his textures, exported his model, and... oh. Huh. How about that? And just like that, he's officially in the game. I even managed to get all his animations working, see? Get away from me! Right, that's all of the enemy stuff done. I don't really think it took that long. Let's see, how much time do I have left? 4 days? Well, I mean, what do I really have left to do? Let's see. The entire map, a main menu, models for all the artifacts, a shop system with working purchasable and passive abilities like speed, more camera film, and faster render times, and a working smoke bomb. Okay, I don't really have that much time left, so let's get to it. Back when I was making the map for Spray and Pray, I just knew there had to be a better way to do level design than this. So I finally decided to just look up a proper tutorial, and sure enough, it's like the easiest thing in the world. I was doing it very inefficiently. Since I only have 4 days, I just used a template of one of the maps from It Steals, and yeah, turns out what you can do is, instead of just extruding faces around and hoping it all works out, you can just outline all of the hallways and connecting rooms, and it'll fill it all in for you. Now that it's all blocked out, all I have to do is extrude it up, and invert the normals, and just like that, all of the rooms are done. Then I just did some finishing touches, like making the rooms actually accessible through the doorways, raising the height of some of the ceilings, placing all the artifacts in, which are literally just all cardboard boxes from that one video I made. And that's the entire map done, in only 2 hours no less. Next, I made a throwable smoke bomb, which works by spawning lots of particles made with the Unity particle system that can obstruct vision. It can be used to hide, but make sure the enemy doesn't see you enter it, because he'll be able to move and attack you. It was also at this point when I added just a teeny weeny little jump scare sound effect when you encounter the enemy after not seeing him for like 20 seconds. And somehow this change alone made it so much scarier. Oh! Then I made it so that escaping the area totals up your money from all the pictures you took, and then you get put back into the lobby area, where you can purchase different upgrades for the next run. So I guess this game just turned into a roguelite or something. But anyway, I also made it so that the camera can actually run out of film. And you can purchase extra in the shop. And finally, I just made some last minute touches, like making a start menu, adding some proper stone textures, baking some lights, turning the game into Pac-Man, this is so that non-static objects can have fancy lighting, and adding a whiteboard that I stole from TF2 to display tutorial info. And just like that, the whole game is done. And just in the nick of time, too. Actually about an hour late, but you know, who cares. What's important is that this time I actually remembered, unlike the last video, to record my friend's initial playthroughs. And it went, yeah, you know, things don't always go right the first time. I mean, turns out you could wall jump the entire time, which if you'll remember is a feature that I actively removed. But anyway, cue the funny moments.
Since I ran out of time to add many cool props, please just admire all the boxes and stuff. Wow.
Probably just jumped on a box or something. There's also coyote time, you know.
No, I'm wall jumping.
What the fuck?
I'm wall jumping. There's nothing here.
What if I just go in?
No.
Epic balls.
Okay. I think I found a box.
Oh, okay. I wasted one, I think. That's very cool. Right. Oh, I know how that is. I know what that is.
Remember, he is active right now, man. He is like...
I see.
Where is this? True, actually.
Let's get this wide shot. What is wrong with his hand?
No, wave back. Wave back.
Hello. What happened to his arm?
That's what I'm saying.
I don't know, he ate it, I guess.
I think he's
he's a
got
hungry
some
guy.
sort of like broken anatomy.
He ate the bone
I
too.
don't think that's. Yeah, I don't think that's how a bone should normally look.
I'll buy that. And I guess that's the other thing. Because 100. What is that? Oh.
Cheers. Yeah, you freak.
I can't remember how much it subtracts when you... Oh wait, I can just check. I have to look at the game. I made it, man.
Does it subtract when you take a picture of him?
Yeah.
Oh.
I guess he just robs you or something.
I want to take a picture of it. It's funny.
I'm trying to take pictures without you in them. Chill. Jesus.
No,
Very
wrong
loud
one.
Noise.
No, Judas.
Oh yeah, my mistake. My mistake.
Like roughly where I was before. I've seen this one. He's got a funky swagger on there. What the hell?
Oh my He is
Michael
like,
Jackson.
It's a fucking zombie walk, man. It's Thriller.
I forgot how the game works.
yeah, I'm just looking around. You no need to be so aggressive. Can I take... Mate.
Fraser, this is how
What are you
you
doing to
died
him,
last
man?
time, man.
What are you doing to him? Oh, is he? He's over there. Oh yeah, there's his arm. And a green box. In that case, I'm not trying to take pictures, I'm just trying to see. You stay there, mate.
He's just like... I forgot, to be honest.
I'm going back on, yeah. That's not me. Okay, I was probably just too close up to the boxes. I don't think that felt like it shouldn't have been 26. To be honest.
Yippee!
I don't know why, like, some of the lines are empty.
Minus. Hey, I did better than Herbie. Jesus.
Damn.
Actually, Creepy Joe, can you come in the corner?
Creepy toe.
Just... No. Man, you can't just hit me from there.
Anyway, that'll be it for this video, and thanks for watching. I'll most likely make a follow-up for this, because I didn't end up having enough time to add many of the features that I'd originally planned, so that might be in a while, maybe next Halloween, I don't know. Also, pretty important video coming soon. You might have caught on to one of the details of it throughout this video. But anyway, if you like this video and think that I'm really cool, make sure to press the button that says subscribe. And as always, thanks and goodbye.